The predictions about the catastrophe
As another
that is
therapy
the
for Ebola
coronavirus
is already being
get more
tested on
ominous
Americans
by
with
the day.
COVID-19,
The
but it's still
Organization
unclear when
says
any of these treatments will be
Moments
widely
ago, the State Department raised the travel advisory to the highest level, to level 4 in its virus.
Dr. Anthony Fauci, the government's top expert on infectious diseases.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Dave with Marketing Ideas for Printers. The hair is 1 week older, which means that we're all still working our way through this coronavirus pandemic together. Still have a short trip from my home office, from getting up in the morning over to the desk in the home office. And here we are, another week of going through the pandemic. We are still here. We are still wanting to be as relevant as possible. Our purpose with these webinars is to provide the resources and help printers survive now and thrive later. And that's really what we're all about on these webinars. And coronavirus, as you know, you don't need me to remind you of this, has forced a big reset on our businesses. The good news is that what we learned here now is going to keep you strong, and it's going to make you stronger even after we're done with social distancing. And that's really what we want to do, is keep those ideas flowing. Remember that the ideas that we share on our webinars will be appropriate for all printers. You don't have to be a Marketing Ideas for Printers subscriber to be able to adapt these ideas for your own use. A lot of these will work for our Marketing Ideas for Printers subscribers, but they're also meant to be broad topics for everybody. With that said, that is the purpose of the Tuesday webinars. We have shifted the focus of the Thursday webinars. Those are dialed in a little bit more specifically for our Marketing Ideas for Printers subscribers. Everyone is still invited. Same thing, you are likely going to find some takeaways that you can apply to the things that you're doing. But just know that Tuesdays is kind of a broader topic. Thursday, we do dial in a little bit tighter for our Marketing Ideas for Printers subscribers. Let me pull up my screen here and just some of the housekeeping items. The reminder is that the recording of today's webinar will be posted on coronavirusresourcesforprinters.com. As always, that most recent webinar will roll up into that top spot, and all of the others will still remain under the previous webinar episodes towards the bottom of the page. Stick around for the survey afterwards. It's super short, can be as long as you want it to be, but it is short. And one of the questions on the survey is, we will ask you for ideas that you have that can be shared with others, and ideas that you have for how we can best help you with resources like this. So please stick around, provide that few seconds of feedback, or as long as you want, and stick around for that survey. Please ask questions during the webinar too. You can use the webinar's questions tool, and if we're not able to respond live during the webinar, just know that we do review all of the feedback after we complete the webinar. Most importantly, remember this is only temporary. And as I was visiting with our guest, Wayne, we feel that this temporary is maybe starting to move. We're starting to talk about coming out of this pandemic even more. But it is only temporary. We will get through this together. And so with that said, Wayne, I'll ask you to turn your camera on now, and we'll bring you into the picture. Matter of fact, and I guess we didn't talk about this beforehand, but I'm assuming that you've got your slide deck queued up on your side here, so I'll send the screen controls over to you as well. And those are coming your way. And just a little bit about Wayne. This is Wayne Metcalf from Discount Labels. And I first became acquainted with Wayne last year as we worked together on integration between the websites that we provide and the service that Discount Labels provide. And we might have an opportunity to talk about that in just a little bit here too, but here's what caught my attention is just like we're doing with this webinar, Wayne has a passion for helping printers succeed. And that was so super clear to me again as we exchanged emails during this pandemic. And one of the things, Wayne, that you had said, I just copied it out as part of this introduction, is Wayne had said, we are truly trying to find ways of helping our industry keep things going. So with a comment like that, you're a natural fit for the webinar like this. So Wayne, over to you.
All right. Can you see my screen, Dave?
I don't as of yet. Oh. And there's
I'm not sure if you have to pass it over to me or.
Sorry, I think I gave the controls to the wrong person. I gave it to one of our guests. So sorry, Tim, you can share your screen if you want, but Wayne, let me try this again. There we go. Now I think you should have.
All right.
Yay, technology. It's wonderful when it works, and when it doesn't, it's usually my fault.
Okay. All right. So you should be able to see my screen now.
Yeah.
So let's see here. So guys, thanks a lot for letting me come out today or come talk with you guys today. My name's Wayne Metcalf. I work for a company called Discount Labels. I'm based here in right outside of Kansas City, Missouri. I've been in printing for 30 years, and just like everybody else here, I don't know that I've ever seen anything like the COVID issue. You know, we've seen things go on with finances, but never anything this crazy with virus related. I truly believe we're going to come out of this situation. I do believe some businesses are going to be hurt from it. I believe a lot of other businesses are going to come up with new ideas. They're going to be creative. They're going to bring new things to their client. And I think what we're trying to do with my organization and my group, we keep talking about the rebound. So that's one of the things that I thought was catchy here today was, how are we going to rebound from this situation? And just wanted to share a few ideas with you guys. The ideas that I'm going to be sharing, like I was telling Dave, really can be used for anybody. This is not a Discount Labels thing. This is just several ideas that I've put together that I think might be able to help our print community. So with that said, the first area I wanted to talk about was craft brewing, distilleries, wineries. This is, I've heard this time and time again for a couple decades, that alcohol is recession proof. And I thought it was very interesting that when we talked about essential businesses that were going to remain open, one of them was the liquor stores. And I thought, wow, I guess, we need those to relieve some stress. And we're seeing sales are up. Alcohol sales are up through all of this, as far as at the liquor stores and at the grocery stores. A couple of the areas that I have seen a lot of interest in is craft brewers. Craft brewers are going through a lot of labels. Some of these craft brewers they have tap rooms, and the tap rooms are closed right now. So they have had to come out and say, distribute via crowlers, which are the cans, the growlers, which are the glass, or they're going to another brewery that has canning capabilities or bottling capabilities, and they're canning or bottling there. I'm also seeing that a lot of these craft brewers are doing a lot of small batches, and this is not just related to during COVID, but this is the last year. Here in Kansas City, we've got a cornucopia of craft brewers here, just like a lot of other areas do. And while they do have their regular standard beers that, I think of Boulevard beer, which is a big one here. They have their wheats, they have their pale ales, but they also come out with their small batches. And these small batches are not being put in printed cans. They're being put in cans that need labels. So just an idea there. And then also all these craft brewers, they love their marketing decals. They exchange them. A lot of times you're going to see them on toolboxes, kegerators, refrigerators, things along those lines. And another way for people, another thing for you to go into that craft brewer and offer them. Craft distilleries have some of the same things that craft brewers do, but the craft distilleries are also doing hand sanitizer right now. Now, not all of them, but what I'm seeing, probably about a third of these craft distilleries are doing hand sanitizers. They need labels as well, and they need the hand sanitizers are going over like crazy. The craft distilleries, they need marketing assistance as well, so they need those promo items. They need the shirts, the hats, cups, things along those lines. So another area that you might have some area to help. I am seeing a lot of growth with online sales, and just to plug Marketing Ideas for Printers and Dave, we've got some clients that we work with that are using e-commerce modules and through Marketing Ideas for Printers, and we have created a system that we call Punch Out, and that can plug into Marketing Ideas for Printers. Wanted to share a little study with you guys that I put together with a client. We looked at 7 days in during the COVID issues, and they had about $580 in sales between two separate items. This is going to tie into my next thing as well. These hygiene labels and floor graphics. This is something that they did not provide before. They didn't promote very much. They had 10 orders in 7 days, which accounted for about 28% of their business. And they had about 36 items ordered since March 19th. And these numbers were taken about a week ago, by the way. They did set up a particular section of their website calling it the COVID-19 products. So they did set that aside so that people could see that. And like I said, they're increasing their orders by about 37% over the previous week.
If I could just
what I wanted to
second, Wayne, what you had just said, a couple of tie-ins there on a previous webinar, one of the Thursday webinars that's dialed in a little bit more towards our specific website customers, well, all of our Marketing Ideas for Printer subscribers. But that I've seen that as a good theme as well. That meaning your fourth bullet point about offering COVID products on their website. But even more than that, by grouping those together by an easy to browse category. And that's, you got to make it easy. Got to make it easy for them. And that's one way to make it easy. And just even as I'm looking at some of the other points there, floor graphics, just this afternoon, I had to make a run, do a pickup for, of all things, some printer ink for our printer downstairs. And it was a Target, it was one of the big name stores, or just any of the stores. So many of them are still just a simple piece of tape in 6-foot increments. There's a huge opportunity out there without a lot of effort to really make yourself look better. And we, as printers, are the people to help them with that.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And I'm going to hit on the floor graphics a little bit more here in a moment. But, with the online sales, people are at home. They're at home a lot more than what they were before. So they have extra time on their computers. So they're checking out things online and they're making more purchases. I had a similar instance, Dave, a few weeks ago. About a month ago, I should say. I had to go into Bank of America, and on the floor was this piece of a copy paper, handwritten in a plastic sleeve, and it was taped to the floor, and it said, "Stand here." And I thought, well, this is good for coronavirus related item, but this is a slip and a trip hazard. I could break my leg here. So this was a perfect opportunity for somebody to come into a Bank of America or another organization like that and design up the floor graphics for them, and then also print them up as well.
By the way, one thing I neglected to say, if any of our viewers, if you have questions or would like to start a conversation with Wayne, if you have a question for Wayne, please send that in through the questions panel. We'll keep this as interactive as we can if you have your questions. Keep on going, Wayne.
Okay. So a few ideas on the floor graphics, and I also added some hand cleaning decals. So the hand cleaning decals, we are seeing a lot of interest in this area as well. They, you know, these are going to be the signs that are going to be going up in the bathrooms, in the around the schools and things along those lines to remind people to wash their hands. And this is going to be an ongoing thing. The social distancing, I believe, is going to be an ongoing thing as well. And what I did was I just included a couple photos here of some things that we're doing to remind people to keep their social distancing. Like I said, Bank of America was a perfect example there. Like Dave said, he went into Target. I see my wife went into Walmart last night, and she said that they had theirs, and they actually had directions on which way to walk down the aisle. We're seeing some interest here recently with doctors' offices. A lot of these doctors' offices are opening back up that were not open before. So the ones that are doing some of the more of elective surgeries, I've got a friend of mine that he's having hip replacement surgery. He's supposed to have this done the day that Colorado closed down. Well, he's itching to get back in there, and I'm assuming he's going to see a sign that says "Stand here," which wasn't there a week ago. The other big area that I think we need to be prepping for as printers are the schools. Now, this might be a week from now, this might be months from now, but I truly believe that the parents that are having their kids go to school are going to demand what are these teachers and what are these educators doing to remind their kids to wash their hands, to do their social distancing and things along those lines. So I think the school systems are going to see a lot of these as well. You could possibly create some generic floor graphics and decals and already have them designed up, and then that way they are ready to go in your shop or on your website, or do custom. So those are some of the ideas that I have that I've seen that have been successful over the last couple weeks, the last month. And I hope that these things can be helpful for you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. And I kept thinking it's something that we had talked a little bit on just as we were preparing for this. There is an attitude that is shifting. I do sense exactly, Wayne, the message that you're taking, that people are starting to think about more. Here's what's coming afterwards. We are going to exit from this at some time. Maybe not, like you said, maybe not today, maybe not this week, but that momentum, I can just feel it in the printers that I'm talking with, that it's starting to happen a little bit more, and everyone's getting ready to rev the engines again. And really, one of the things that I think is so important, and it really speaks to part of what we did when we partnered between Discount Labels and Marketing Ideas for Printers. At that time, we didn't see a virus on the horizon like this, but it really just speaks to one of the things that we said coming into this is the best time to start e-commerce was probably about 10 years ago. The second best time is right now. Get those engines revving and start looking at how you can be relevant. Well, certainly right now with social distancing, that's why e-commerce, this is kind of really a perfect time to fine tune that so you can get that going. And just to kind of put a bow on that, I won't bring it up now, but we had a blog post that kind of talked about how we connected Marketing Ideas for Printers and Discount Labels. So we'll include that in the show notes afterwards. It really is a super easy way if you are one of our common customers between the two of us or want to become one of those. Very easy to get that going. Won't get into the nuts and bolts of that here, but we'll make that resource available afterwards. I hopped on the soapbox again. Wayne, anything else that you want to bring? We are kind of starting to get to that winding it down time, but any last words that you had?
The only thing that I would like to add is that if you do have any questions, you want to do some brainstorming, I've been in printing for 30 years. My focus right now is labels, decals, and stickers, but more than happy to brainstorm with you in other areas as well. And just let me know. More than happy to help out.
And we'll make sure to include your contact information as well on the webinar in the follow-up. So Wayne, I thank you a lot. Thank you for being here with us today. And I could tell just from those very first few emails that we exchanged that led to this, that your heart is really right there with ours, that just, and really with the people that keep showing up to these webinars too, that our desire is just to help the industry get through this together. And you've done that. So appreciate you joining us today to share your message too.
Not a problem.
All right, so we will wind it up here, and to do so, I'll just remind you that the recording of today's webinar is going to be posted on coronavirusresourcesforprinters.com. And if you find value in this webinar series and the resources we're sharing, please do us a favor. Please share coronavirusresourcesforprinters.com with your fellow printers. That helps us all. So we'll get ready for that survey. I'll get our webcams off here. Please do stick around for that survey. It's a quick survey, and again, it is a place where we can capture some of that information as well to help make future surveys better. So we'll get our outro video going, and remember, we will get through this together.